going to work on strengthening poses on all fours. So we're going to get a little upper back strengthening with some scap push-ups. We're going to get into the hamstrings and the glutes. And then we're also going to do a little bit of core and upper body strengthening with little tiny baby chaturanga push-ups. If you don't want to do these, the chaturanga push-ups on all fours, we could put those in the bucket of the standing poses because you could do this at the wall. So the first one we're going to do is actually scapula push-up. Those are your shoulder blades. But let's kind of workshop it on all fours first because sometimes it can feel a little confusing. It's not cat-cow, it's an isolation to your upper back. So grab a block, put it between your heels, maybe 2 blocks. So we're going to come into Virasana. So your shoulder blades, those are your scapula. Start with your arms out, like you're on all fours. Good. Now squeeze your shoulder blades together without thrusting your ribs forward. So just take your shoulder blades together like you're squeezing a pencil between your shoulder blades. And now push your hands forward. Widen your shoulder blades. Let's do that again. Draw your shoulder blades in as if you're squeezing a pencil between your shoulders. And now push your arms out. Try that one more time. Take your shoulder blades in. My arms are staying straight. And then push your arms out. Okay, now notice the head didn't move, hopefully your ribs didn't move, your pelvis didn't move, just your shoulder blades. Just those kind of angel wing-like bones on your back. We're gonna do that now on all fours. So let's get onto all fours. Because I love to find any opportunity to get a little adductor strengthening in, go ahead and throw that block between your thighs. So same thing here. I'm going to draw my shoulder blades together, and then on the exhale, widen my shoulder blades. I'm going to keep my head and ribs and pelvis nice and balanced. They're nice and aligned. I'm not letting my head move. I'll inhale, shoulder blades together. Exhale, press your hands to the floor, widen. Inhale, shoulder blades together. Exhale, press your hands, especially those pinky fingers, and widen. Let's do one more, and widen. So that's getting the upper back. Now while I'm here, let's also work on a little bit of abdominal toning that we're going to take into a little baby chaturanga. So I'm going to imagine that I've got a big cake in front of me and I'm going to blow out the cake with 100 candles. And as I do so, I'm thinking that my front of my hips are just narrowing together. So let's do that together. Take a deep inhale. And a big exhale. And as you exhale, blow out all the candles. And you may start to feel a little support and toning here in the core. Now, walk your hands forward, curl your tailbone slightly to your block, and then shift into half plank. Now, if you feel any downward bearing or pressure or a lot of doming, you'll stand up and do this at a wall. So you'll take an inhale. Think of blowing out those candles. As you exhale, take a little bend of the elbows and then exhale back up and then a little back stretch. Keep your tailbone coming towards your block. Inhale, exhale, blow out your candles, little bend of the elbows, and then come back. So we're getting some core work and we're getting some strengthening of the triceps and your chest. Again, feel free to hop up and do that at the wall if you notice you're holding your breath or bearing down or seeing a lot of doming. We can also start to now concentrate a little bit more on the back body and throw a tiny bit more core in. So this one's called opposite limb extension. Some people call it bird dog. So we want to keep that same idea of my pelvis and ribs nice and neutral, and then I'll reach one leg back. Now, if you have SI or pubic pain, you'll keep this leg down. Imagine I put a 100-pound weight on your leg. You're trying to lift it up, but you can't. So you're actively lifting up as if there's a weight on it. That's if you have pubic pain or SI pain. And then we'll reach the opposite arm out. Now, if you don't have those pains, as you exhale, you're going to lift up and reach your leg back. And as you exhale, feeling that sense of support. Now just breathe naturally here. Reach the heel back, stretch your arm forward, and then let that all release down. You might have felt the hamstring and definitely the core wake up. All right, we'll do the other side. So now reach the leg back. Try not to collapse in your back or your shoulders. Again, imagine we have that strong weight on the back leg, especially with SI or pubic pain. Reach your opposite arm out. Good. Now, for those without pelvic pain, you're going to lift the leg, reach your heel back, stretch your arm forward. Make sure you're not holding your breath or bearing down. And then let that go. All right, I think we should do a few quick body circles just to, because we're working so hard, just to get nice and released. Okay, now this next one is donkey kicks. So I love to do this with a block. So I'm wedging the block right at my sit bone and right at my heel. And I'm pushing my heel into the block. I'm trying to keep from collapsing, and I'm just going to kick the leg up about 5 to 8 times. I'm trying to keep my hips square, and I'm actively pushing my heel in. Ooh, do I feel my hamstring? I think that's enough. All right, and then of course we want to be balanced. We'll do the other side. So your hamstring is the back of the leg. So grab that block, wedge it right under your sit bone and your heel. Keep a nice neutral spine and lift and lower. So I throw these into class. Sometimes instead of that baby chaturanga, I'll offer a child's pose because I love to offer a restorative option, but then I'll also offer this strengthening element for those who want to take that. All right, how did that feel? So those are some on all fours that you can do for strengthening. We did opposite limb extension, we did a little chaturanga, we did some donkey kicks. So we can we did scap push-ups. So strengthening the posterior chain, strengthen a little bit in the chest. All right, next we're going to come on to our bottom and we'll do some seated poses.